started when they pulled off the victory. So you can already see some of the shakeups in the ban. Some similarities, of course, but difference in sequence. TSM with that first pick, they pick up the Vi for Spica.
All right, let's see about where the changes will come with Tactical in the lineup. Yep, Sivir's locked in. I feel like TSM are gonna slam them with a Draven pick or something like that, putting Tactical in and making the switch. We'll see though, could very well. I mean, Zeri, Yuumi is still open. They could go with the same strategy. It worked in game number 1. But I want to see if there's extra spice on the table. Jose here hovering the Lee Sin, but actually steals away the Yuumi, denying that possibility to TSM. Lulu Zeri is also still fine, but people have preferred the Yuumi. Oh, come on, baby, give it to me. That's
this
what
has to be why,
come
right?
on, baby.
This has to be why, because if you make that switch and you end up going with the Zeri again, yes, we can see it happen, but we all expect the Tactical.
I knew it! Let's go! Tactical with the Draven. It is a very good lane into Sivir. So aggressive here, and they followed up with a Chime Pyke. Yes, I knew it! TSM making the changes necessary. Can they execute, though? LeTigress, last game, in game number 2, it was FlyQuest saying, okay, we need to go with a kill lane, bottom lane. We need to be the ones to make this change. We're going to put Aphromoo on engaged carry, and it works, and they make the change, and they actually get the kills. Now TSM are saying, fine, we're going to do it too now. You go on the Yuumi pick, you go on the scaling. We're bringing it in Tactical and giving him the Draven Pyke lane.
Gosh, what a different look for them. And yes, definitely going for that kill pressure. You don't want to be oppressed by a Draven that just gets online nice and early, or you don't feel like you can do anything about it. And now FlyQuest taking even more of the picks that TSM had indexed into prior. They get the Lissandra here for the mid lane, some additional safety with the lockdown, especially when you wonder, there's a Pyke that's just gonna be coming in, trying to finish everybody off as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's always best to early give pressure to bottom lane, gank for Draven Pyke as quickly as you can, so that then you can unlock this Pyke to move around the map. Draven, once you get a couple early kills, can handle himself, and it's really going to be interesting to see if they can actually unlock Chime to roam the map. This is where Chime is best. He's named after Bard. He talked about it himself in his video. Looking around to make some plays here with the Pyke. Lissandra going to be picked up here for FlyQuest. They want to turn around that Lissandra matchup, though, of course, and then banding through on some of these jungle picks as expected, taking away some of the more stable ones as TSM ban away from JoseDeodo, but they leave up the Wukong, and that is a great team fight.
Locking in the jungler here, JoseDeodo on the Wukong, and I'm super stoked to see Chime on this pick because, like you said, he'll be able to roam. But when thinking specifically about what he has said in some of the interviews, when talking about finding that leading voice on this team, really being able to dictate where that pressure is going to be for TSM, this is a pick that he can try and take some of that agency with. And seeing if they want to continue through with this draft. Akali, one of those picks that got buffed on 12.15 and teams indexing into her more and more. Yeah, a little bit of energy regen on Shroud and max energy, and Maple using it, the counter into Lissandra. Akali is amazing into Lissandra because you can just burst her down, force out the ultimate, Shroud, back up. And as long as your team is early snowballing, you have so much ability to just force out these Lissandra ultimates defensively and to look for kill pressure onto the back line, onto a Sivir, Yuumi that have not been able to scale. So TSM are looking for snowballing here. Meanwhile, the Lissandra, in the reverse, if the Lissandra team is ahead, then Lissandra is actually really nice into Akali because you can just W giantly in the Shroud. If your teammates are ahead and they can play off you, then you can just snowball against the Akali by having these giant AoEs for the Shroud. You can find her in the Shroud, pop her. You can single target, ultimate her offensively. If it's not forced on you to use your ult defensively, then it's actually a really snowball matchup in your favor if you can rely on your teammates. When you're looking at these teams, FlyQuest, the last lock-in with a Jax, that dueling potential, that side-pushing potential. What do you make of these overall comps coming through? I love it. I love it. It's the aggressive answers here.
Both teams have been rewarded to be the ones to make the aggressive looks and the aggressive changes. And TSM this time around, they're trying to take their hand at it with the bottom lane, looking for the kill lane, subbing in tactical. But FlyQuest here, Philip says, yeah, I'm going to go with a carry top laner, another carry top lane matchup. Jax into Gnar has been used a lot in LPL for aggressive looks for carry top laners. And Philip, this young guy, promoted from Academy here on FlyQuest, so much faith that's been put in him by this organization. He delivered for them in game number 1 versus Team Liquid. Let's see if he can deliver here, because the Jax can scale into an absolute monster and allow FlyQuest another really strong split pushing presence as well, and especially into the Gnar. With those recent Gnar nerfs, flat health taken down significantly, the early levels, you can even look for ganks and kills on the mini Gnar.
The faith shall be rewarded goes for a whole different team, but FlyQuest borrowing from it somewhat when putting that belief behind Philip here on this roster ever since joining. And we'll see how he can hold it down continually against solo. I mean, I think he's a player that has been very intriguing to watch because we haven't had expectations for him. I'm wondering what expectations we should hold for TSM though, and for more on the matter, let's hear from TSM themselves.
Thank you very much. I'm standing right here with Chowie. Obviously, the big surprise for everyone here, at least, is Tactical subbing in for this game. What's the impetus behind this change for TSM?
We actually prepared, because it's a best of 5, right? Like, if you have sub players that can also play, it's actually a good strategy to use, especially they have to prepare different kind of drafts. And if they're not prepared, we might just get a win.
And obviously this draft looking pretty different, especially in the bottom lane. What can you tell me without leaking too much about the change in kind of the bottom lane aggression here?
We actually have a lot of draft prepared, especially we have 2 players, but I think we are the only one knowing when we will sub in, which player, which side will play, and then I think that's an advantage for us.
All right, makes sense, Chowie. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
Back to the game.
I'm just so fascinated because prior to game 1, walking in the hall and I see Tactical, and he's got a jersey on, and I think, he has a bit of a game face on, not somebody that's here to support his team. And it sounds like TSM had a very specific strategy around draft when bringing him in as another AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I called out, and that's exactly what I predicted for the tactical switch here is the Draven pick, and that's what they've used here. They're pairing it with the Pyke, as we said, for the aggressive bottom lane, looking for the early jungle pressure, looking to unlock this Pyke to roam around, snowball that Draven. TSM don't want to let FlyQuest scale this game. That is the main difference. In the previous matches in this series, it has been pretty close to comparable team comps on both sides. Looking to do some fairly similar things. But this is the biggest divergence in strategy coming out of pick and ban. And it is TSM looking way more with early game here and looking way more aggressive than the FlyQuest lineup here from Champion Select. So it's going to be on, can they actually execute? Philip, though, is the wild card here for FlyQuest. He's the one with the counter pick Jax. So we'll see if FlyQuest can hold on bottom, just not give up too much, and allow this Jax to get priority, allow the Jax to scale, put some more faith into the young top laner to get some carry potential.
So eyes on very different portions of the map when looking holistically at the game to come and where that power will be. TSM, different look of their bot lane, keeping their eyes somewhat on mid lane already. Chime looking to unlock from these lanes as soon as possible, as we're witnessing in this time.
Yep, that early roam, again, unlock the bottom lane. Chime gets to roam out on top side. They push out, and so the pressure that you get from having a Draven lane leaks into the rest of the map. Out here, roams up through mid. Now they're going to find him on the blue buff. The invade from FlyQuest.
Spica just wants the buff for himself. Flashes over the wall, answered by JoseDeodo. Blast Cone gets toucouille over it, but it's first blood here in the hands of JoseDeodo on the enemy jungler.
And again, playing off that top lane for FlyQuest, their answer was, guess what? We're giving Philip the Jax. We've got faith in our top triangle of the map. Jose goes for the invade. They find Spica. They force his flash. They get the kill. Huge stuff out of the top side of the map for FlyQuest, even with the roaming Pyke. Now, Pyke returning back to bottom lane, though. And the best thing about that for FlyQuest as well, it was more time for the Sivir and Yuumi to be unperturbed by this aggressive bottom lane. There was no Pyke there, so they knew they could push out, they could farm easily. Now Maple under attack, FlyQuest looking for another one!
Oh, gets towards his turret, but loses the flash. A key moment there.
Yeah, FlyQuest so aggressive, and JoseDeodo stepping up in a very big way for this team. They let him get the Wukong pick here. He's making use of it off the invade into Spica. Mid lane flash play here as well. Let's see if toucouille is going to answer this support gank.
toucouille knows the danger that lurks around the corner. You can hear him coming and says, I don't want any of this trouble with Chime. It's something that FlyQuest are continuously aware of whenever he's not showing on the map. And right now, 2v2 of a different kind. Exhaust onto Spica. Chime taking up most of the damage, tries to get the stun up with the E, but now he's on the retreat. The rest of the mid lane has come to party. Chime goes down to toucouille, and Maple also down low, flashing forward from Tactical. See if he can finish this off. JoseDeodo about to go down, but toucouille with a double kill thus far. Johnsun keeping his eyes on Maple, gets him through with a bit of the Q, and Tactical, he makes his way towards the lane, and there's the disengage here. Quite scrappy off the top.
Yeah, even then, you see the power of a Draven with the spinning axes up. Even with Yuumi on top of him, Johnson's like, all right, fine, you can have mid lane. I'm out of here. Not even going to try to 2v1 the Draven with spinning axes available. The bottom lane's both roaming up, though, and FlyQuest get paid so huge here. toucouille flashes on the LeBlanc. Pre-6, Akali can't do jack. Akali is not going to help you out in these skirmishes, and so FlyQuest, Jose is happy to take this, charges right in. They have the exhaust on Spica, and Chime is trying to make the flash play there with his stun, but he gets so low, he can't get the CC there, down there onto Jose. Jose gets the crab, they get the kill as well. It's just domination there from the FlyQuest in the little skirmish, and the only saving grace for TSM was that the bottom lane came up and they had Draven with all this Draven priority to be able to chase off the rest of the members of FlyQuest, but my goodness, it's just so big. FlyQuest playing off the top side of their map. They're like, great, you're subbing in Tactical, you've got this Draven Pyke bottom lane. We will play away from it.
Which means that they're the ones with the 1.3k gold lead right now, picking up the first dragon. JoseDeodo, the plays he has been attempting to make across have been fruitful thus far, but TSM, they have his bot lane in their sights. They get the stun, but Johnsun shields it, end up getting the pick onto Aphromoo, protects the AD carry, but gives his own life.
Yeah, he's actually the sacrifice. Aphromoo just jumped off. It was like, holds up his hand. Guess what? All right, throw the bone screw at me. You can take me instead, and Chime does.
Half of Yuumi's job nowadays.
Actually,
take me instead, Kobe!
Actually, the sacrifice there. Aphromoo jumps off. He receives the bone skewer. He receives the death. Allows the Sivir to go right back. Reset there anyways and get back to lane. So, TSM. Couille's coming up too. If Solo stays around, they dive him for sure. He's got to get out of there.
Yeah, he has to back all the way back. He knows that there's some FlyQuest members there waiting to clean him up if given the opportunity to do so. TSM on the other hand, though, Spica taking over as blue. Chime continuing with that positioning that he can do, executing into the jungle, creating some of the space for Tactical, who's been farming away every time he's down there, getting that CS up as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's why they made the whole changes here for TSM. Tactical making good on the swap to put him in. Draven has been the powerhouse for TSM, has the extra cleanup kill, made the difference, roaming up from the bottom lane, earns the turret plate, keeps the Sivir down in CS.
Doing his job right for TSM, and because of that and what we had seen recently, that gold lead that was mounting for FlyQuest, now yo-yoing back to the other side, proving how some of this early scrap that the teams are going for is going to dictate this early game. And TSM on the Rift Herald now, this will be a nice way for them to control another portion of the map, try and offset some of that pushing that Philip and the like would be doing.
Yeah, try and offset some of the work that Jose and toucouille were able to get for FlyQuest in the early game. FlyQuest with some pretty powerful early moves, but TSM still slogging back in this one. They're the ones that have to make some action happen early. Draven, of course, you're always going to have bigger gold numbers for your team. The first cash-in was a 365 gold for Tactical off of that first kill with the Draven passive. Solo does get stomped on
Should be able
and
to...
bonked on.
Yep. He knows that he's going to be taking some of these hits right now, has a little bit of a wave. There is a lurking jungler about that. Solo is always the one that's going to play around these things.
Yeah, they've also been able to rotate the Akali into the side lane here to have Maple post level 6. Akali does finally have the real kill threat. So getting that teleport solo laner down to the bottom side and rotating Tactical and Chime into mid lane. And the important part about that is that you get your Pyke rotating from the mid lane. So Tactical and Chime are the TSM power source. Where they go, TSM has the priority, and they're trying to move them around the map to keep FlyQuest on that defensive and retake control of the game.
With 4 control wards down for TSM too, all the way across that riverside.
Yeah, I mean, there's no illusion as to what Chime's got to get done. Boots of mobility here for him. This Pyke is going to be cruising around the map. The Draven can take care of himself already with the early ganks and the early money. So Pyke looking to try and make some plays. Again, tries to help Spica out with this scuttle. This time around, of course, the Akali is, as we said, level 8 here, has the ultimate. The first time they went for the Scuttle Crab fight, it was a level 5 Akali, so can't really do much at all without the ultimate. And it caused some issues there for them, allowing toucouille to get some early kills. But they return to the focus on the game plan here. Win conditions, play off that early snowball.
Oh, JoseDeodo, he's going to the back line, though. Exhaust onto Tactical. Can they fire enough back? Johnsun sure does to take down that Draven. Flash away from Spica, back into the river he goes. And in pursuit, Johnsun misses with the Q, but he does get the auto. Double kill for Sivir, but it's going to keep on going. Maple, he is around, does have ultimate, but that's that. Take out the vision and end the action.
Yeah, toucouille was just mirroring the hover here, so roaming down, there's no threat on. Oh, the recall actually goes off. They really want to punish the Sivir, but spell shield should be up, so Johnsun will be fine. FlyQuest making plays off the Yuumi ultimate. And once again, JoseDeodo, the star here for FlyQuest in this critical game number 3. He comes down, he's got Aphromoo on him. The Yuumi plus Wukong engage is critical. They even have the exhaust on a Tactical once he stops and is able to auto-select. Then the flash in for the R2 from Jose to finish him off, and they chase Spica away. Huge stuff here from FlyQuest. Again, trying to keep down this TSM attempt at snowballing. Even though that Rift Herald play got off, they used the Rift Herald kind of against TSM as a bit of a bait. And now both Johnsun and toucouille have those bounties for themselves. And FlyQuest being only 600 gold down is pretty good for them, considering they also got the early dragon, and they're the team that scales a lot more. But TSM still pushing ahead.
They start up the dragon themselves to try and prevent the stacking, but FlyQuest is here, Blasphems and all, to get within the vicinity and pulled out of the pit. Chime looking for those aggressive angles. Johnsun has to take a long way around to rejoin the team safely. JoseDeodo going back into it. They don't quite have all of the ultimates, but they do take down Spica. Enemy jungler down around the objective is a decent place to be. But in the end, FlyQuest, they've got the numbers. They poke them off and they take the Drake. Huge stuff for FlyQuest. They're not done yet either. Jose wants more. They know that Tactical's a big threat and they want to take him down. The ultimate finally back up here from Yuumi, and the follow-up from JoseDeodo. Johnsun kill onto Draven again, and it's just Maple here standing. A low bar is something that he sets his target on and manages to finish with the bird. Is good.
Toucouille! Let's go! My goodness, this Wukong is laying it down on TSM. Jose, give him a break, give him a breather. The man's got 100% kill participation. The Wukong really does walk with a big stick. Every time he's got that cat on his back, and the combo is good. It worked for them there. JoseDeodo, many looking for him to step up in this game to suppress Spica and the control that he can try to acquire. And so far, good for FlyQuest, effectively taking away that gold lead, swinging it back in their favor. And now Chime, it's still up to him to try and unleash on this map, though. See where FlyQuest decide to make their next moves. All right, Spica trying to get something back for themselves off of the Jose plays on bottom, steals away the red buff for TSM. Maybe you could say the hope for TSM is this Akali. Maple starting to get a bit of money, so maybe he can get some of these bounties started, but my goodness, Jose with the Yuumi, this Wukong Yuumi, he is punishing them so heavily. for letting this one through. And they banned the Trundle and the Poppy in round 2 of bans in favor of leaving up the Wukong here, and it's making them regret it. It's just the team fight capabilities of the champion as well, because your ultimate is so good with the Yuumi here. You jump in, your Yuumi ultimate gets the roots, then allows you to get both parts, R1 and R2 for the Wukong off. He's absolutely dismantling TSM himself. What an army.
While that early kill went over to Tactical, since then, FlyQuest, JoseDeodo denying him. How scared should TSM be? When you talked about it, wait, let's go ahead and pause on that, because again, Tactical, the subject of this aggression, Johnsun getting another kill into his pocket because the combo of JoseDeodo and Aphromoo right now is too strong. So still leaning into that point. How scared should TSM be when Draven keeps getting killed off like that?
I mean, they've got to be head in hands right now. Run in fear. You know the Wukong is coming, but you can't do anything about it. Again, W goes in, invisible with the Yuumi on top of him. Jose lays it down. Draven has no escapes. The flash is coming up soon, so maybe he lives next time, but the damage has been done. 2,000 gold lead, 2 dragons for FlyQuest. Rift Herald about to get picked up by Jose as well.
He's on it, and despite some of TSM being around, you can see Chime continuing to hover around that top side. There's not much that they can do effectively. Toucouille, though. Chime tried to hit him with the Bone Skier, wasn't able to do so. All the while, FlyQuest pushing down mid, so they get this outer turret down. One of the most important in the game. They've sent Philip down to the bot side as well, facing off against Solo, who is pushing some of that aggression that you are able to achieve earlier when Tactical was farming up, and they also threw that Rift Herald down there, so it was weakened prior, and Solo was able to capitalize upon that. But nonetheless, difficult position.
Solo's living that classic top laner life. I'm winning my lane. I'm up in CS against the Jax. I've got my Trinity Force damage. I took down the tower. Solo is actually, if you just isolate top lane matchup, TSM is winning. Solo is 1,100 gold ahead of Philip, ahead of the Jax. So it's the classic, win lane, and the map is kind of going to the dumps.
3 games of Gnar for him. He had so much gold in that first game where they were able to win. And here, yes, despite having that gold, there's just other points of power from FlyQuest. Yes, the top lane was going fine for him, but all that action towards bot.
It goes through the thick part of the wall there. Wukong W can't get over everything. Gotta go through the skinnier part there. Jose looking for another attack with the cat.
Just waiting. Cats are pretty patient. Right over the wall, gets a knock-up, gets a couple flashes out of it too, and even then, he still got the Yuumi throwing out the ultimate for that lockdown upon them. TSM are here with the teleport coming in from the FlyQuest side. Solo hopping towards Maple, but guess what? You have got a Johnsun on the other side too. Tactical flash followed up by a flash from Philip. Maple's making his way down. He can't get there in time, so TSM, the remaining members, have to retreat, and this turret, now within the crosshairs of FlyQuest, goes on down.
Where Jose and Aphromoo go, you've got to run. He still has 100% kill participation on the Wukong here for the team. Even though the first W does not get over the wall, they have the ward here anyways, and it's all as intended, just the patience there. They get the team fight anyway. FlyQuest will get Dragon number 3, and that has been the recipe for success in this series. So here it is, a look at the second one. They've got the sweeper. So as soon as the sweeper goes off, Jose knows, time to go in, and this flash is into still the rest of the Yuumi ultimate. So Spica flash is over, but unable to get out of the Yuumi ultimate anyway, so still gets rooted, has the stopwatch, still goes down after the stopwatch in the death there, and the ultimate is down for him as well. So TSM know it is already lost here. And Toucouille just gets an extra one there as he gets bone skewered in under the tower. Thank you very much. Here's some burst damage right in your face.
Meanwhile, back into it, I just feel like, you know, FlyQuest, they're the kind that they save the environment and animals and all the nice thing. And here you got a cat, and then you got the Monkey King, and they're just paying FlyQuest the favor for being so kind to the world out there.
Keyword Jumanji. Attack! Yeah. FlyQuest.
Definitely some synergy thematically on their side. Over 3K in their gold now.
It's actually funny. Never mind. We'll see about this team fight.
Well, see what ends up happening. Tactical, the subject of Johnsun, but most of the action directly over here in the Riverside. toucouille burns so low. JoseDeodo trying to knock him up and eventually finishes this onto Draven. Solo too low as well and in mini form. Can't take them all up, so it leaves another target for Johnsun to get. He gets the double. Maple push out of the fight. So you lose toucouille, but you get everybody else with the 3 following after. Oh, Philip finds Solo. Solo just saying, hey, I'm just chilling. Just let me go away.
Yeah, rough stuff there for TSM. You know, they're in a rough spot, so you have to try and make a surprise play. You have to try and catch them off guard, but with all the movement speed, and especially the Yuumi on top of Wukong, FlyQuest get the chase downs. They get the objectives afterwards, wiping TSM off the map. This one is so FlyQuest favorite. Look at this map right now. All of this vision for FlyQuest, moving in on both sides. The ward line's moving up. So anywhere TSM go is very dangerous for them. Any plan that they try and set up that's a sneaky, you know, wait and brush plan, FlyQuest have such deep vision, they're gonna see it as you start to make that plan. And they will be ready for the counterattack. Plus, their picks are so robust in these fights. FlyQuest can either split push, they can answer you in 5-on-5s. They have so many answers that TSM have to get extremely creative and risky with the picks that they try and go for.
Which seems some of the difficulty when you're looking at TSM, and definitely enjoyed the idea of bringing in the Draven, bringing in tactical, but he's been pressured.
And you see it here, FlyQuest know. Because of those wards, they saw TSM coming up here to even try their sneaky plans. They're like, great, you're gonna try some brush play, right, in Fog of War. Well, they had the leading wards through your blue quadrant of your jungle, so Philip just waits in the brush, they know, and they don't give TSM that chance. Is a good attempt at a Hail Mary play for TSM, but FlyQuest, the caution provided to them by their extra vision off of that last play, they can move back in, secure Baron objective, and move on to the next stage.
When you're lower in power, the Fog of War becomes that additional player for yourself if the enemy team lets that player come into action, basically. And FlyQuest making sure that that is not the case, starting to move forward aggressively once again. They see Spica, they see Tactical, but Chime also on the outskirts. You do still have to worry about getting locked up by a Bone Skewer and kind of pulled out of your positioning here. So FlyQuest making sure to join Philip over on the top side, dueling it out with Solo. See if TSM try to turn any of it.
They want it. Spica ult.
Going for the gap closer, teleports on the opposite side as well. Quite the burn down on Phil, but he's got the counter strike to keep himself up. The Yuumi ultimate doesn't connect with everyone that they need to, so FlyQuest do retreat for the most part, but JoseDeodo Cyclone into the back. Chime over the wall with the Z. Philip still low, and now targeted by Maple, who goes way on downtown. Solo picking up the kill on a Philip, whirling death, slicing through some, but doesn't quite pick up. There's still the 1-for-1 trade until this moment. Maple going down, that's a lot of your firepower, and so many low bars here with Spica effectively pushed out of the fight. FlyQuest feeling good about the 2 picks that they got.
Yeah, they are. They're feeling real good about it. This game is all FlyQuest now. 6,500 goal lead. Looking at the Dragon Soul in just 40 seconds. So you've got 1 reset here for FlyQuest. They're actually going to start up the Baron. TSM, they still have Chime here, and Spica is in the Fog of War. Spica's hiding behind the pit right now. Right back here, he's looking for the steal. Can Spica get the objective steal? Objective bounty shutdown it would be if he could get it. They need vision for him. Somebody get some vision for Spica.
So Chime is trying to do.
He's got 400
hovering.
health in a dream.
He wants to keep, oh, so close, and as soon as he does, toucouille is here for the answer. Denied!
Oh, you better keep dreaming. toucouille there. He's gonna block you out. toucouille comes through with the Lissandra. Finds the low health Vi, and that's going to put a crushing stop to those TSM hopes of a comeback. What a series here for FlyQuest.
And I do commend the effort, Kobe. Spica setting up because they know that getting a Baron like that feels like it just pushes that much more towards the direction FlyQuest is going of ending the game.
Yeah, well, the next one's going to be the Dragon Soul. And unless Chime can steal with a Bone Skewer, that sucker is going over to FlyQuest.
Chime trying so hard to hover around and offer some vision, get some intel on where FlyQuest is, and we're at that stage where they can take this dragon, they can take this soul. TSM not really in a position. Yeah, there's still technically some tools that you could use if you felt inclined.
The gods are not on their side for this game.
Not quite. But there you have it, FlyQuest with the House of the Dragon Soul, a Cloud1 at that, and the fight begins. They find this pick onto Johnsun that they're looking for, but the rest of the team comes on through. JoseDeodo making sure to set it up. Look at it, FlyQuest, Dawn in the purple, pushing it down this bot lane. TSM, not much left to make their stand on. Maple still targeted, slices through on the retreat here, but FlyQuest, they see that effort and they smash it down.
They aren't done yet either. Jose's out of mana, but he doesn't care. Still can auto-attack this thing down. They're going to push inside the base. Only solo remains for TSM. Chime now reviving, trying to give him some support. Tactical 5 seconds away on the Draven, but FlyQuest are already inside the base.
If the small wave remaining on the bot side is enough for FlyQuest to push this through. Philip holding his own against Solo over towards mid. And there's no reason to continue pushing past that. You were still able to get some additional pressure, taking down this inhibitor turret as the Red Bull Baron buff working well for FlyQuest.
Aphromoo can just lean back and chill in the chair. Recline, full recline now, baby. FlyQuest can go on autopilot, almost up to the 10,000 gold lead. They've got, again, Dragon Soul. That has been to the victor every single game this series. TSM trying to make the sneak play once again, up to the top side. This time they haven't been seen.
They haven't, but they still haven't been able to get a lot of their own aggressive wardings right now. Just getting this back, can't quite find the angle. It just feels like JoseDeodo has been on an absolute rampage with the help of Aphromoo, never left alone anytime he runs into a member of TSM.
And he deserves all of the credit because he went for that early invade on Spica, got his mid lane ahead as well, and the only single kill in the whole game he missed out on was the Lissandra finding the Vi over the back of the Baron pit because he was on Baron, getting the objective for the team.
Yeah, and right now, you take out Solo over 30 seconds before he can come back. Numbers advantage created for FlyQuest should they need it. They take down the turret, they've got the inhibitor. TSM, it's time for you to make your last stand. toucouille is in it, gets slammed up, goes into stasis, but into the back, you get that knockup that JoseDeodo has been able to execute time and time again. Heal coming through from toucouille as he goes into that ultimate. Clean up across the board with a Bud Light ace here for FlyQuest. They're looking to close this game and pull into a lead for this series. 2-1, FlyQuest out on top, feeling good about it.
Toucouille! Jose puts his stamp on this game. Demolishes TSM. Aphromoo jumping on for the ride. That Yuumi ultimates making a big difference here. FlyQuest finally take it for themselves. I still like the TSM changes, though. I still do like those changes, getting the aggressive Draven Pyke lane into the game. That was a point of power, but they were not able to execute on the game plan. They were not able to snowball it because of the great work of Jose.
There is a tendency sometimes when you see such a switch in strategy, and then people might want to blame that switch in strategy for the defeat, but you are exactly right. The thing was, JoseDeodo and the rest of FlyQuest read it. They know where TSM were going to try to play through, and they made sure to undermine that as soon as possible to create the leads that they were able to bring throughout the game.
Yeah, huge stuff here. FlyQuest now on series point versus TSM. Which team is going to make this lower bracket run? Who goes home? Will be decided shortly here. So exciting with the changes throughout this series as well. I wonder if they keep tactical in now that the surprise factor of the Draven Pyke aggressive lane has already been revealed, or if they switch it back here for some more variation.
That's what I'm really wondering as well, because I think it's one of those things where when you're hearing from Chad, when you're looking at the way the draft went, you can kind of isolate what type of compositions they're wanting to go to with each of these bot laners. So do they make the adaptation and swing back the other way, or double down on tactical to see what he can pull through? But